Hello, my name is Keith Bradford, and today I'm going to be talking about elements of your feature presentation. So basically, I'm going to be talking about after you've done all your research, you've asked all the questions you asked the company, you got a feel for what they need. You come back and you give them a presentation on how you think you can help them through advertising. It has begun. The start of your presentation. Briefly review the advertising your company of choice is currently doing. And I want to also go over the problems that they mentioned. Hopefully you asked the right questions and you found out where their weak spots are, what they need help with. After you do that, go over what they're doing right, the type of advertising you're doing, and then expand on that. Going into expansion, you want to expand on great ideas. Take the avenues advertising the company is currently doing and give examples on how best to expand on the current plan. Essentially, if the company all they're doing is social media, or they have an ad in the paper, explain them how they can expand on what they're already doing. Maybe put out a bigger ad, maybe advertise in more papers. Social media, hit up some more social media sites. Maybe have someone strictly working with social media to keep their name out there in the streets. Whatever it takes to expand, maybe that's the route you want to take. This is a personal preference. The competition. Who is the competition? What are the competitors doing to advertise their business? What aren't the competitors doing to advertise? Again, another personal preference. I want to say that what I'm doing here is not necessarily set in stone. There's many different ways you can go about it. You have to cater your presentation to who your company is. Me personally, I don't think it's such a bad idea to kind of give them an idea of who else is out there that could be potentially taking away their business. And what are they doing? Maybe there's something that you can get in on too. So that's what I would do. Just have a few facts, a few things to say that these are the people that are in the same field of business as you, and they're in the same kind of radius as you. Y'all overlap, as far as how close you are, if that's the case, and then explain what they're doing and explain why you need to do more in order to keep up and surpass your competition. Advertise on the radio. Break down the top 5 radio stations in the market, then explain the 3 radio stations. Then explain the 3 radio stations you suggest they advertise on and why. Then, if you want, you can explain about the 2 radio stations you didn't choose and why. That may be a question they have, so you should have an answer for that. So basically, you've done all the research and you find out these are the top radio stations in the market. This is where they're going to get the most mileage from their advertising that you're going to suggest that they do. This is going to reach the most ears, it's going to reach the most ears the most days at the best times. So, and then explain to them why maybe the other two doesn't fit the format of their company. Or could it just be, it could be whatever the reasons are. But you should have an answer if they ask why you didn't choose those. So, same thing for television. Advertising on television. Inform the potential client of the top 5 television stations in the market. Explain the 3, and then tell about the other 2 that you didn't choose. Same deal. Which TV stations do you see a spot for this company running on and getting the most out of it? That's what this is about. Breaking down radio and television, the best stations that you could see their company being advertised on and making an impact on their business in a positive way. But again, you're going to want to have examples or an explanation of why you did not choose the other 2. Excuse me. Now, for shits and giggles, advertising on social media. Social media is a huge part of society today and is a great resource to use for advertising. What are the best social media sites? Best social media sites for business and advertising. So I want you to take a look. You see the images behind me. There are a lot of social media sites out there. A lot. Like Flickr. I'll call, of course, Facebook, Instagram, Foursquare. Never heard of Foursquare. Then you can see you got Yelp, Pinterest. Flickr. And again, like I said, maybe your company is doing advertising on social media, but maybe they're like me and never heard of certain social media sites. This is a chance you kind of expand the horizons. Look into these different social media sites and say, hey, there's an opportunity here. You're supposed to find opportunities that they can't find or they don't think of. You're problem solver. Solve the problem. If they're only advertising on Facebook, get them on Twitter. If they're only advertising on Twitter, get them on Facebook. If they're only advertising on Twitter and Facebook, get them on Pinterest and etc., and so on and so on. Lots of social media sites, free advertising. So why not use it? It's a great resource. Advertising proposal plan. Radio, television advertising plan that you have come up with for the company. Include what radio stations and television stations you suggest they advertise on and how much it will cost. Have a different options available for the client to look at. This is the fun part. This is where you get to talk about the money. So this is where you come up with your plan. This is where you use the rate card, come up with an advertising plan. 30-second spot 4 days a week, 60-second spot 3 days a week, or 4 times in one day, or whatever it is. Totally based on how much money that company is willing to spend. And from that, once you know how much they're willing to spend or how much they have to spend, you can come up with an adequate plan or a perfect plan for their advertising needs. But you want to come with more than a couple of options, maybe 3 or 4, just so they can really see what they have available to them. You want to explain what's going on with the rate card and the plan so they can make an educated choice for their business. Because even though you know quite a bit about it doing your, investigation and asking them questions, they really truly know what they can spend and what they can afford and still be good to go. So do that for television and radio. You want to have the best options possible, and you want to just throw it out there, what they need, and this is what it's going to cost. What you feel like, and see, that's the thing. You know about the radio business. You know what's going to work. As far as if they only advertise like twice every other day, that's not enough. You should know what it would take to really start to see a change in their business, to see a growth. So for that one, you really have to be confident in knowing what you're going to talk about. Negotiation and closing. All media selling is based on negotiation. The object of negotiation is to close a deal to get an order. So negotiating and closing are one step. Remember, you're selling yourself as well as your plan and your company. Because something to think about, you nail this presentation, they might go throw your name to like an affiliate or a company that they also work with. And one way you can look at it, you're auditioning for future clients. So it's important that you nail this down. Okay? So this is where you start talking about what you feel would be best for them. This is where you close. Ms. Moore said that a lot of times salesmen, they get all the way up to this point and they don't close. You need to close. ABC, always be closing. You ever seen Glenn Ross? You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is where you put all of that together and you bring it home. How you do that? Well, that's up to you. There's plenty of ways I imagine that you can do it. I can't give you one set way, but this is the part that is the most important for you, to bring the business home. You won't have to do all of that homework, all that investigation, questions, late nights drinking stale coffee. You don't want to basically do all that work for nothing. That's all I'm saying. This is where you bring it home. Close the deal, bring the money home. How you do that? There's lots of different ways. But if you've done your homework and you have been very vigilant in getting the right information to the company, came up with a nice proposal plan, something that they can get on board with, you should be good. That's where it starts, is doing the homework, doing the digging, investigating, and looking into things, and figuring out what would best work for their business. You do all of that, you should be fine. But at the end, that's the end of my presentation. That is features of a presentation, not the presentation. That, like I said, it's all up to you. You know, however you want to do it, whatever elements into the presentation you want to bring it. Just be prepared. But this was more or less a way to go about it after you've done the market analysis. It's the final stage of market analysis. This is the end game, the Super Bowl, playoffs. And I think I'm done talking now. My name is Keith Bradford. Again, this has been elements of a feature presentation. And thank you for your time. Goodbye.